Hello everyone, it is Joe here from Omnipoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. If you're looking for PTCGO codes, including the stuff from Champion's Path, make sure you go ahead and check out the Potown store. You can get a 5% discount on your orders using the code Omnipoke. For today's video, we're going to be having some fun with Wailord V. Surprisingly, even though this is a coin flip attacker, I actually think this is probably the best way you can be playing Frosmoth in the current meta. Water's a decent typing, Lightning is in the form of Pikarom, but way less so than the past. So there's potentially an opening for a deck like this to actually see some success, especially because Wailord can actually 1v1 Pikarom fairly well thanks to its own raw damage output, as long as its flips are on your side. So let's jump into this archetype. Starting off with the chonky Wailord V, 280 raw hit points on a 2-prize Pokemon is pretty nuts, to be honest, especially because you can also add a toughness cape to add an additional 50. Yeah, this is a big boy, and I really love this draw-up attack. I think if you're going second, this is what you try and work towards for your first turn, trying to use things like Capacious Bucket, Research, and Dedenne to throw a couple in the discard pile, draw up, and hopefully power up that Wailord V for turn 2 to use its main attack. If you're going first, you're going to try and set up a Frosmoth for turn 2, so in both situations you have acceleration to make Ocean Waves start rolling from that second turn despite the 4 energy attack cost. Ocean Waves allows you to flip 3 coins and you do 120 for each heads, so 2 heads means you're doing 240, which is already very good into most regular V Pokemon, and even things like Tag Teams and V Maxes fall in 1 hit if you are able to high roll the 3 heads. Now, yes, it's not high odds, but we do at least play Glimwood Tangle to try and skew the odds a little bit more in your favor. For the most part, I'm usually accepting 2 heads as a good enough result, so something to bear in mind, but there are some Hail Mary situations where you have to go all out to hit 3 heads, otherwise you're very sad. But in a lot of situations, actually, that high roll can be backbreaking. Things like Eternatus that only attach 1 energy per turn. You get 3 heads at the right time, they just have no backup attacker ready to rumble, so you can just start swinging again into them and start running riot on their boards. Things like ADP, if you knock out their active on their GX attack turn, for example, then they're left having to find like Sorcerer attach boss, and then the following turn if the Zacian gets knocked out, they need to find the same combo again, and that's only if you've already put down things like Crobats and Dedennes, which fair enough you will sometimes, but not always, so things to bear in mind. The high roll at the right moments is really devastating for decks to bear in mind. Obviously there are low rolls here as well, but it's something that we have to take with a pinch of salt. We then have that 4-3 line of Frosmoth. We're trying to get that Ice Dance rolling, especially if you are going first. You want it to be ready on turn 2, so you can start using your buckets and energy attachments and throw them all onto the Wailord, so you can be using Ocean Waves as quickly as possible. Also, of course, when you're the player going second, you want to power up your second and third Wailord with this Ice Dance ability as well, so definitely an integral part of the deck. Our only other water attacker is Keldeo-GX, that Pure Heart ability, not quite as useful as it used to be, but still can be a headache for some decks, like Mewtwo for example. Sonic Edge does a vanilla 110, which is actually quite nice to have some guaranteed damage in the deck when a lot of the time you're doing coin flips, but also this Resolute Blade GX attack gives us a great option in the deck. Obviously, again, a great way to try and bully Eternatus players, which is obviously a very popular deck in the format. For people to reach even close enough on the Wailord, they need to commit to a lot of bench spaces, and Resolute Blade naturally can counter that quite nicely with another 1-hit KO option that we have in the deck for that matchup. So I think for the most part, with your type coverage of being water, and the fact that you have Resolute Blade GX in the deck means that ultimately you're looking to face the Centiskorch and the Eternatus VMAXs. I think those are 2 things you're kind of targeting as Wailord, in my opinion. From there, we have the supporting cast of helpful bench sitters. You've got your Crobat V to top up your hand size. You've got your Dedennes to do some dump and draw. Dump and draw obviously has some great synergy with that draw up attack as well. And we do have that one happy match Eldegoss in the deck to try and recover some supporter cards. Every now and then it's a research or a bills, but oftentimes you're looking to grab the boss and give yourself more outs to that in the late game. For trainers, I've tried to make it quite streamlined and simplistic, to be honest. We are playing a couple copies of Energy Retrieval. Obviously, the Wailord is pretty fat with his attack cost, so when one goes down, having a Retrieval can make it much easier for you to have your next Wailord coming online. We have 3 Calm and 4 Quick Ball to try and get our Pokemon out. Obviously, Frosmoth turn 2 is a goal of ours if we are the player going first, for sure. So having plenty of outs to that is going to be important. I'm playing 3 Switch as well as 1 Air Balloon. Air Balloon's a really nice sort of safe haven that you can put on anything but Wailord, which means you can then have that nice Ice Dance pivot going on. Switch in general allows you to move the chonky Wailords if you just happen to start one, or anything else like that. So yeah, good to get those guys out of the way as well. 4 buckets, a great way to just search out our energy cards. It really helps thin the deck. It really helps power up those Wailords quickly. It has that synergy with draw up. We can just use this proactively in the early turns and then research or Dedenne them away to then draw them back up onto your Wailord immediately. So yeah, just a great card in general. And then we have 4 Glimwood Tangles, which is hopefully making life easier for us on coin flips. Now, there are many times where you're going to see me be quite defensive with Glimwood Tangle. I'll be off, basically when I hit 2 heads, unless I'm in complete panic stations, no other win con, I will take 2 heads. I will not say like, man, how great would it be if I hit 3 heads here, because I don't trust the coin flips that much, you know? So oftentimes I'm happy with the result of 2 heads, but who knows, maybe we get into that panic station situation where we got to go all in on Glimwoods. Now, something to bear in mind, Chaotic Swell isn't like guaranteed in many archetypes right now in the format. So that's why I'm just playing the 4 Glimwoods, but you could also think about, of course, playing Resetting Hole Marshadow. Certainly could be an option in the deck if you are concerned about the amount of swell in the format. It's something that you need to monitor if you are going to play this deck for a while. For the supporters, 3 Boss's Orders to pick off things that we've maybe tried to 2-shot with Ocean Waves, or some things that are slightly easier range for us. Trying to hit 2 heads on like a Dedenne or a Crobat could be easier than going for broke on a bigger hit point Pokemon. I'm playing 3 copies of Bill's Analysis in this archetype as well. I believe that Capacious Bucket and the relatively low Pokemon count that we play in the deck makes it quite easy for us to just have good outs in the mid-game really. I think in the opening turns, he's not the worst villain for us either, because he can work towards buckets and comms and quick balls, and even switch outs are all important for us. And in the mid game, it's kind of the same deal. You're looking for, again, retrievals, Glimwood Tangles sometimes, Boss's Orders for future turns. Those are the kind of things that Bill's trying to pick up. Basically, I found him much more useful than Marnie in the opening turns, because we're a combo deck, so if you're, going second, you really don't want to use Marnie, because you just get yourself into a mess a lot of the time, unless you've already done things like Dedenne. And in the late game, typically, Marnie could be okay, but I feel there's so much aggressive draw in the format right now as well, it's not going to be too detrimental against a lot of archetypes. That's my own opinion, but if you do want to weave 1 Marnie into the deck, you can certainly cut a Bill's. Even 1 Marnie with Eldegoss can sometimes be good enough for the right situations, but I've personally found Marnie to be quite a poor performer in the deck, just because of the nature of how you try and play your opening turns to try and maximize the Ocean Waves. I've not found it too useful. We are playing the 4 Research though, obviously your bread and butter supporter that you're going to use for the most part. Great synergy with draw up, and just in general dumping and drawing is very good for you to cycle. We got 2 copies of Toughness Cape. It's going to hopefully keep this Wailord out of reach, even of like the Zigzagoon based, Zigzagoon scoop up based builds of Eternatus, and just keeping you out of range in general from all sorts of attackers is great. And we are playing 11 Water Energy, I think, alongside the 2 Retrievals. Give us a bit of leeway to, prize one here or there, and still have the opportunity to attack with 3 Wailords if need be, or 2 Wailords and a Keldeo. That's kind of the strat that we're going for the most part. So yeah. A very simplistic, streamlined list of Wailord. This list does not have many good answers to Decidueye Obstagoon. Sonic Edge can get through all effects, but right now I'm of the opinion that if you can't really tech for the archetype with just like 1 or 2 cards, I really don't think it's worth it. And I think even if we were playing like 2 Suicune and a second Keldeo, for example, in the deck, I still think we'd be quite poor in that matchup. So right now I'm having no answer to Decidueye Obstagoon, so just a folly of the deck really. You don't really give yourself any opportunity against it. That could put people off. If you even want to put in like a 1/1 Inteleon line to have a better chance against the Obstagoon part, you can go for that if you really want to, but I still think the Decidueye is a pain, so I don't know. I don't find it to be a very easy matchup to counter as the water deck, to be honest. I don't think you have a good enough attacking basic sort of options available to you to get over that line, so at the moment I'm just accepting that as an L, but not too much else that I'm like supremely concerned about coming up against. I'm pretty happy for the most part with a relatively streamlined, straightforward 60s. So let's jump into the ladder and see how Whale treats us. Obviously we're looking to find some welder archetypes here and there, and also Eternatus I feel is a relatively strong matchup, as long as we're on all cylinders with the deck, and as long as coin flips are relatively generous. I do still think this is more on the fun side. I don't rate any Frosmoth variants to be like top tier right now, even with its type coverage and its placement in the format. But if I was playing any Frosmoth deck at the moment, I think it's less bricky than Inteleon and even the Frosmoth Mewtwo builds. So I actually think this would be the one I would play if I was forced to play Frosmoth decks. So yeah, I still like to go first with the deck, even though we are trying to, even though we have that nice get out of jail free option with draw up. I think just so many other decks are stronger going first that I want to deny that from most others. Looks like we're up against a Welder-based deck. Now, they obviously do prefer to go second, but I'm still pretty happy with this opening, to be honest. I have the option of just going straight away for Snom here. What are my alternatives? My alternative is to grab a Crobat, attach Crobat for 2. That's not very strong. If I grab Snom here, I'm still in top deck mode, and I might be forced to draw up next turn, which isn't ideal. Let's have a look, see what's going on. The thing is, I have so many good draws if I just take the Snom here. Next turn, good draws include... see, the only problem with that, though, is he could Welder and just smack and kill the Snom if I was to go into that guy. So I think it actually has to be Crobat here for 2 cards. It's really not strong, though. I think this is kind of dodgy, not going to lie. I don't want to commit the balloon because I want it on the Crobat, though. Okay. Don't want to commit this card. Not really. Don't really know what we're up against. Basically committing myself to an attached draw-up play next turn, which is still fine, especially if he goes for a Flare Starter. So I'm just going to pass here. Maybe try and get Marnied with a higher hand size. Such a strange combination of cards in hand that made me not want to Dedenne, but the Crobat for 2 is not a lot of value. Strange spot to be in. We are going to see Welder. So if I was to make the passive Snom play, they would have had the options to immediately High Heat Blast the Snom, and then we're in the same spot. Looks like we're actually up against the Mewtwo variant, and looks like they don't have many other things to attach to, seeing as though a Muck's come down. Okay, they're just going to concede because they don't want a Flare Starter to a Muck. And I kind of agree with that. Alright, we'll try again. Awkward opener for us. We still have plays, though, for the following turn. We could get to a 3-energy Whale. Top decks that would have been good there. We had 7 supporter outs. We had 4 buckets, which were all decent for the following turn. Any energy card was decent for the following turn if we were just accepting the Wailord attaching to itself. We could have slow built a Whale, especially if they were using Flare Starter that turn to not Mewtwo. We were kind of okay in a weird situation. You could see how that would have been a great start if we were actually going second there, though, because we had double water energy, started a Whale, and could have gone Dedenne. So it's a small debate whether or not you choose to go first or second with this deck. Opponent's going to grab some moles here. Or possibly not, because we have the same number of moles. Much more workable hand this time. Opponent playing Energy Search. Spinners in format. We'll have a very chill turn. Next turn I can quick ball away Boss, com that into a Frosmoth, I stance 1 and research. If I draw any Pokemon, I can Crobat for 5 before research. Actually, it would be for 4, and then we keep the com as well. Creamy VMAX, huh? If you insist. With Cursor V. Alright, I'm going to toss away a stamp. Everyone's having fun with Champion's Path by the looks of things. More Crobats coming in. Seems kind of risky to me. I think we're not going to be wailing on him. Crushing Hammer comes down. What sort of list is this? Who knows? Who knows what's going on? Alright, we'll stick to the plan. We will dance. Grab a fresh 7 here. That's everything we needed. Now it's just some coin flips coming in. Gonna do the pay retreat just in case he wants to do any stalling plays. Oh lord. Well, a nice high roll there. And straight away we're in the game. We got our turn 2 attack off. It was the higher end of the spectrum, which means we're pressurizing him out the gate. Removing energy. That Malolana play was extremely risky, I want to say that. See a Great Ball fail. Really haven't seen too much of this Alchemy VMAX, I'm not sure if it's even a thing. They are going to go for a stalling play. Our brain is huge. As good as bossing around this Cursor is... I think I just want to Bills to try and find a Glimwood. Thin the deck very nicely now. Second whale is ready to come online. He's getting damage in the process. I'm not too worried about it though. I think I'm just going to try and race him. Because we're 2 prizes away as long as the Glimwood's not brutal to us. Ooh, very nice. Alright, I wonder what stadium an Alchemy VMAX deck would be playing. If they were to be playing any. We'll see. We'll see. Feels like a hard spot for him to come back from, though. Alchemy has an attack that attaches to itself, right, the VMAX, and then it does, I think it's a 60 multiplier from memory. I remember being fully unimpressed with the archetype, I'll be honest. But we'll see. Why is my timer still going? PTCGO! His timer's going down, it's telling me it's my turn. I think this has been bugged by some description. No, here we go. He's playing. Or something's been forced active, one of the two. Maybe they've just left. Who can tell? Yeah, looking like they're just out of here, right? I don't want to start greeting this man, but I might have to. Let's just enjoy the pretty artwork of Cursula. Great card in person, to be fair. This guy's playing like max rarity cream. You really gonna do this on a video, bro? You hate to see it. End it with some decent flips, please. This is going to be another turn that I have to play, isn't it? Oh, actually ended the turn in 3 attacks. Good job, Wailord. Alright, so far we've had a concede against Mewtwo and win against a mess of a deck, I guess. We will keep endeavoring to win with the whale. We haven't found our 2 target matchups, which is, in theory, Eternatus and Senti. In theory. We do lose the coin flip, so we might be able to see the power of draw up from the whale here. Hand's looking pretty okay. We get to start with a Wailord, which is always good for the draw up strat. Kind of just lacking a bucket right now. The turn sister plays Lucky Egg. Water energies are really good. Garbodor, a poison build. Poison build actually does render the hit points of Wailord less useful, as long as they are able to get the multitude of stage 1s out. Also tells us they are playing stadiums, obviously, because Garbodor needs them. Quick balling away a switch with a Trubbish active is pretty interesting. Absol, okay. Have to be very aware of our switch count. No attachments. Oh boy. Okay, we will always throw away a water because we want that in the discard pile. I'm gonna grab... I could do a Comm Dance and do a Crobat, so then I can try and discard some more waters with research. I'm kind of interested, mildly interested. Ideally, we just find a bucket off this guy. Couple moths going down ain't great. Have to make sure that our third one's in here. It is. We can always thin a Snom here. Okay, we find a discard piece is the wrong side of the hand, unfortunately. I'm going to play this. And just draw up for 1. We've actually had a pretty rough go of things with our opening hands, to be honest. For how simplistic the list is trying to be. Good news is their Turner didn't do too much either. Making Turn Absol into a useful card now, at least. And a Turner VMAX is the selection. Now we see a switch into Crobat. Yep, quick balling away a boss. Crobat's the pick. Only really concerned if I start seeing a bunch of Krogunk come down this turn. Power Plant is fine. Special Dark's fine. Scoop Up Nets in this list as well. Pretty interesting. The Scoop Up Net's actually an incorrect play because now they can't put down a Garb this turn. So that actively hurt them to play the Scoop Up Net. They're going to start hitting little Snom. So maybe it's just a thin Garbodor line. Just to try and put you over the top against some VMAXs. They're at 25 at the moment for Resolute Blade. Alright, they're going to hide into Trubbish, that's fine. I'm going to try and find Com first of all. I'm not able to find those. Going to continue to thin here. Slow turn from us, but their hand size is low. They've played a decent number of their switch outs already. May still give us priority with boss next turn. We shall see. Another VMAX being made. Our prize map is pretty clear now. As long as I want to boss next turn. They play Blizzard Town? Is that actually good against us? Good thing we have more stadiums to go. We're seeing some stuff today, boys. There's the Garb. Are we going to see a switch out from them? 3 nets, 2 switch played. Crobat can keep him digging. Oh no, are they going to detonate Snom? Not Snom. He's one of the good guys. They're going to call energy out something as well here, if they want to. There's the Slowbro. Couple of poison pieces going on in here. We're going to see the Puddle coming in. And they don't have a switch out. Okay. So we only have 1 com in the deck. So Bill's analysis still isn't super high odds. I think I'm always quick balling a Snom here, just in case. If I'm making that play, do I still go for the Bills? I'm always putting Snom down. If I just go KO here, next turn I need to Eldegoss Research. Research needs to get me Com/Frosmoth, which are both one-ofs, or switch outs. Sorry, plus switch out. Plus a lot of my attachments. So I want to build proactively so I can actually attach to Keldeo with Frosmoth next turn. Okay, still whiffing, but Balloon's actually a really good hit, to be fair. That's going to make things a little easier. I guess he goes on Healthy Snom. Unless he... I mean, what are the chances he goes for 4th net plus boss this? He won't boss this because the Wailord's already here. So I think this is fine. Also kind of want to play around Marnies from them. And the downside of putting Keldeo down is if nothing gets knocked out next turn, I will be forced into doing not much else. So we will just give him the waves here. We just need the one. Poison's going to try and take its toll on us here. Potentially taking the Switch card over the Tangle. Maybe it was correct for me to just take Switch and Air Balloon and just get out of this poison. He has already used a decent amount of Ziggy nets though. Com could be their 4th Zigzagoon if they want to kill Snom here. That would put their bench at 350. Looks like they're going Absol instead. Just gonna see the attachment and a big swing. $30 hit points remaining for us. Be very careful about this. I think I just want to boss this guy, or boss this guy, I guess. It requires me to hit 2 heads, which is a little bit risky. But I don't think I have many better plays, because I want to keep the Keldeo as live as possible. That's what you didn't want to see. Now I have to get the fortunate side of luck. Yikes. Big yikes. That's a bit of a problem. That is a bit of a problem. Alright, they are forced to pass, which isn't actually a bad move for them, where they're at right now. Boss top deck is pretty poor for us. I'm just thinking if I want to bench attach Keldeo now. So unlikely that he has boss in hand with just 2 cards, but they'll be given 2 more cards from the whale if I don't retreat here. If I just attach 2 to Wailord and Eldegoss for research. Looking for switch outs. It's probably okay for me to try and go slow whale at this point. It's so weird getting rid of Keldeo in this matchup. Unless I go Bill's analysis, let's think about this. Bills can still get me the com and the switch. Yeah, we'll do it like this. Nice. So we still have 0 retreat even with Absol down. Huge. They also want to proactively calm. We already have a whale down. We're just going to make a moth. Again, he can't boss unless he's played super patient with the Zigzagoon. Alright. That's fine. And now we are still threatening that big Keldeo. Should make things fairly simple for us. They could try and Power Accelerator. Which means I'm in top deck mode of a water or bucket or retrieval. I could alternatively just draw up with Wailord next turn. Either way, we go into Snom here. Have a few top decks to just win the game outright. Glimwood isn't one of them, so we are going to go for a draw-up play here. I still don't want to commit Keldeo because boss is a very real possibility now. So we'll just do this. The good thing is him gusting up Snom's really poor in a prize race sense of things, so even if it's good against my board state, it's not good for the prize race. I see a Guz Howler come in. All sorts of cards in the lists today. What's been going on? Is this what happens when I just play Wailord non-stop on the ladder? We get low enough to see some concoctions. See some Blizzard Town concoctions. That's the Swell, which would be strong against us if we needed to still be Wailording. There's a Lucky Egg. I get the retreat out. Not going to one-shot us. How often can you say that? This time we do hit the win condition. In a weird way, convincing. The deck didn't draw super well. We need to remember to keep one attachment. 2 retreats. We get to do a very satisfying 400 on him. Almost decked them out with a Lucky Egg. But yeah, good to see that you can beat a Turner. Obviously that was a kind of wackier list going on and they missed turn 1 attachment, but we also missed the full draw out combo for our opening. And we were super slow to Moth, so a bit of stalling on both sides there, but we were able to convincingly come out on top, which is cool. We'll have one more game with the whale, see how these coin flips go. Nothing outrageous so far from us. If you want to see some more gameplay of the whale in action, you can check out my week 2 of the OPOP League. Some super interesting and fun gameplay that I had against Flex Daddy. Actually very enjoyable games, so I do implore you to watch that. And Wailord was one of the decks that I brought. I think it's the same 60 I'm showing today. I might be playing one more Water Energy today than I was. Right, we're up against a fire deck, by the looks of the deck box anyway. And we have a really, really strong start here. When you're going first, you just want to try and get towards turn 2 Frosmoth, and we're already looking very close, so that's nice. Our opponent is leading out with a Dedenne. I do want to maximize the Crobat, even though I've kind of got that guaranteed Frosmoth. I still feel this is a better play, because it's so easy for a Snom to get knocked out. And next turn is looking crazy strong for us, so we will just pass. Looking like we got turn 2 Ocean Waves on the go. We can obviously attach Retreat the active and Bucket and do 3 to the Whale. So don't tell him, but this is a really, really good start for us. You love to see this. It will be a Frosmoth Wailord straight into a DAA change. Looks right up against Mad Party. Kind of a trickier matchup just by virtue of them being 1 prizes. But hopefully the Wailord is chonk enough. They've already put down a couple prize Pokemon for us. A couple 2 prize Pokemon for us. That we can be aggressive enough that we can still try and win here. Here's 3 2 prizes, so there's our prize map really laid out for us. Kind of hoping they can't get a retreat attack off, because then we're forced to hit into a 1 prizer. Well, I'd really like to keep this guy up front to potentially knock out turn 1. We shall see. Plenty more plays for them. They're going to quick ball away Rose Tower, which looks to be their counter stadium. We see a Roxy now for their draw supporter. See Great Ball. For the Polty, do they have a switch out? They can easily knock out Snom here, if they do. If not, we have a really good shot at taking a 2 prize lead against them. Wow, that's a bit of a yikes for them, not gonna lie, but we will we'll take that for sure, as we are going to make a Moth. And buck it up. Buck up our ideas. Is 30 damage ever good for us? No, I'll just put it as a pivot option. Like, it's good against Sinistes, but come on now. Alright, well, we have boss plays as well for next turn, which is looking pretty solid. Alright, waves it is. Let's see how these coin flips go. Alright, we'll try again. Ah, you hate to see it. Ooh, you really hate to see that. You really hate to see that. Alright, mate, chill out. We're trying to have some fun out here, okay? You don't bully us like that. That was a huge chance for us to go ahead, though. Not gonna lie. Them choosing not to counter the stadium was super ballsy from them, but not getting punished for it is a real feels bad. Much easier for them to retreat out now. They can pay retreat with any twins that they find, so that's not going to be a problem for them. Another Roxy down for them. I need to think about how many bosses I can play this game. I can play 4. I could possibly... Well, I wouldn't ever need to play more than 4. I was just thinking I could float up with Eldegoss, try and use it again. Float up obviously kills Bunnelby, but then I wouldn't need any more bosses. Alright, 160 from him. I guess Keldeo can kill one of these guaranteed. 1, 2, and then I have to go boss. If I'm going boss anyway, should I just start now? Try and take more prize cards as I go. There it is. Bills and Quick Ball aren't ideal cards for us because I need 3 energy for Keldeo. I guess Quick Ball's fine. Like an Eldegoss. And Quick Ball for Dedenne. Alright, they're just going to Mad Party through us. That's their first 2. We are level on prizes. Retrieval's a good draw. I actually... Oh man, I shouldn't have put down this Keldeo. It makes it so much easier for him to beat me now. Ah, we actually made a big mistake there. I should have gone Whale this turn to force boss. With 2 played already. Yeah, that was so bad. Let's think about this. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. With 10, 11, 12 right here. I guess I still Whale this turn then, and just do the Bills. That was a mistake though. This is forcing me to win in more attacks. Which I'm not a fan of. Particularly. I don't feel super comfortable about putting on that Keldeo. I think it's actually a big mistake. We are going to lean into it though. And there it is. Alright, are we going to see boss from them? We play no hand disruption, obviously. So that's what it's got to be. 2 already played though, that's the only kind of like good news. Not really enough energy gone for that to be a problem for them. Let's see a Roxy from them now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 13. Having some energy issues. Alright, some confusing scoop up net plays. Shaking my head. What is this recording? What's gone on here? You know? We'll have one more game, but I'm super puzzled. I mean, okay. They already had Gust available with Great Catcher, so they didn't even need to deck themselves there. They just had to scoop up net and attack. They didn't have to T-break. Unless their bottom card of their deck was triple acceleration, and they prized 2 twins and a triple acceleration in their last 4 prize cards. And they don't place Rod either, which also feels weird to me, because I really like Rod, so you can reach and then get your guys back. Strange all around, I think. Alright, we're going second. We've already got Bucket research. So we've got guaranteed draw up to make our guy ready to rumble. So that's cool. Looks like we're up against another Eternatus. And hopefully this game is a bit more routine of what we can expect. Double Bucket research is just super pog for us in the early turns. They play Viridians, which may also help the cause for getting the following attackers ready to go. Looks like they're reducing their hand size to Crobat for a few here. It's not attachment that they're looking for. It's Eternatus to attach to. Yes, it is. So they get Quick Ball to be able to attach to the right man. Sounds good to me. Hooper comes down as well, and it's our go. Oh man, we have a ton of energies. How many Glimwoods we're looking at? Okay, that's fine. Let's do the broken opener for us. Snom's very good. I guess Glimwood's good with the 2-card hand size from him. But he got rid of Marnie, right? So his hand's already decent. Is there anything else I want to do? No, I think we're good with draw up here. Could have proactively bucketed if I want to improve our top decks. Kind of close, right? All I know is the big man's here. Gonna be some waves coming soon. There's the VMAX from our opponents. So they will get a proactive smack on our boy. Let's see what else they can conjure up. If they play Crushings, that's not going to be a problem for us, unless they get multiple. It's so easy for them to overextend and just get bodied by a Keldeo here as well. I could sponge like a 250 kind of hit and then just bop them straight back. They've got a 110 hit point Yveltal down as well that I could like boss with Keldeo. If they put down any Zigzagoons, it could be the same story. Okay, they're trying to Crobat draw again. It's not their first Crobat rodeo. Yep, they're playing into Keldeo. Okay. Seems pretty good to me. It was at that moment he knew that I played Keldeo. I know, it's pretty sad. We have retrieval and energy in prizes, so I'm happy making this play. Do I want to put any Glimwoods down? No, I'm good. We draw our bosses as well, so next turn I can boss Yveltal and then just be a boss away on like a Crobat. Boss with Sonic Edge, I mean. Oh, he actually could have cleared the Yveltal from his board, but chose not to. That was a small oversight from me in my progression with the game, but I guess I could have gone into Wailord anyway, provided I take a water or retrieval from prizes, which I did. Is he going to boss up Wailord here? Could also boss Frosmoth, but I don't think it's very good. There is going to be a boss. It's going to be on the whale. So I guess our response is boss up his Eterna and just hit that guy. Or I could still boss the Yveltal. What do I want to do here? With so many switches played from him as well, bossing Yveltal sounds really good, so he can't even Hooper hit me next turn. The only thing about that play, it doesn't actually progress me super close to game, but then again, a boss doesn't progress me anyway super close in any way you cut it. So I think I just do this and accept that we're still 2 turns away for the most part. Because he's many turns away. Bring up the big ban. Is he Crushing Hammer? Man, 3 tails on all of his so far. Pretty rough because energy actually is a small concern for us right now. We still have a bucket. Oh, sorry, a retrieval. See an Ornery Rod from them. That's pretty rare. Gonna see a Marnie. Into a pretty shoddy hand, to be fair. This could be his way back in. Crobat getting us out of a bit of bother. Right. Need to be careful because of the amount of energies we have remaining is low. We're basically not allowed to miss our retrieval next turn, which is kind of yikes. And then we also need to flip some decent coins. He still has one Crushing Hammer remaining, and a Crushing Hammer Heads actually beats me if he takes it off the whale, which he would. So we have to make this play. He basically, his best move is like kill Keldeo and Marnie us again. It's actually a problem that we drew 2 Dedennes and a Quick Ball, to be honest. Doesn't help the cause. We've put this guy into 2 heads range. They're going to Crobat up for some cards. Drill? Getting rid of Balloon would be a pain. Interesting. They went for a Glimwood. I guess I had only played 1 Switch, so that's kind of fair. I see a research from them, so not a Marnie is good news for us. Any more drills would be scary, if they can drill the Balloon. Oh, nice. Very nice turn from him, to be fair. Even though he wasn't able to Marnie, still almost as good as it gets, really. Quick Ball actually isn't the best draw, because I still have the Eldegoss in the deck, and I wanted that to be an out, because we only have 2 researchers left. Let's thin our Snoms, they are useless. Let's Ice Dance R1. Let's DAA change. So it's going to come down to coin flips here, I think. Yep, it is. They almost always have boss for game if we can't do this. There's our Glimwood, so a glimmer of hope, I guess. Let's give it a go. Oh, you love to see it. You love to see that. Well, finally a reasonable game against a reasonable list. That's Wailord for you. The Keldeo doing bits. You do still have to manage your energies pretty carefully. Obviously, we had a retrieval in our final 2 prizes. But if things had gone a little bit differently there, that could have been dicey for us for sure. But anyway, that's the Wailord archetype. Let me know what you guys think about it. Have you been having fun flipping coins? Do you think this is the best way to play Frosmoth, or do you think the Inteleon or Mewtwo builds are more realistic? I'll hear it all down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in another Champions Path deck tomorrow.